The house rose like a declaration of triumph, its Queen Anne design perched proudly upon its parcel of land, a testament to wealth and flourishing dreams. The walls climbed steep with multiple roofs intersecting in sharp angles, turrets looming like watchful sentinels. An octagonal tower caught the sunlight, its many-paned windows flashing like mirrors. Gables decorated with carved flourishes crowned the porches, while tall, corbelled chimneys angled high above. Even the entry doors greeted visitors as though they stepped into a palace, their glass panels etched with curving floral designs that shimmered by daylight. It was the kind of home only a man of means could afford, the kind of home H.J. Whitley had vowed to build for his family. The carriage drew up before the wide porch, its wheels crunching against the gravel drive. Fanny, bundled in a winter cloak, held their daughter Sarah in her arms. The little girl, only 3 months old, lay swaddled in a pink blanket, her eyes still drowsy and unknowing of the grandeur that awaited her. Fanny's brow furrowed as she gazed upon the house. "How on earth shall I ever keep so grand a place in order?" she whispered, anxious but proud. H.J. smiled faintly, stepping down to help her. "Do not trouble yourself, Fanny. I have already hired the help. I cannot abide a house in disorder, and neither should you. This home shall run as smoothly as a clock." Fanny touched his gloved hand as she descended, a queen entering her castle. Seasons turned, and soon baby Sarah was no longer cradled, but toddling about with curious steps. At 15 months, she clapped her hands for joy as the family rode out in their carriage through the country. The horse climbed a broad hill until, at the top, the lake unfolded beneath them, brilliant and calm as glass stretched to the horizon. H.J. climbed down first, tall and strong in his riding coat. He turned, and Fanny gently passed him Sarah, the child wriggling in her father's arms. Fanny joined him, unfolding a blanket from the carriage and spreading it across the grass. Lucky, their loyal short-haired mutt with dark, piercing eyes, bounded down after them and immediately threw himself upon the blanket as though it belonged to him alone. With clumsy delight, Sarah stumbled across the grass and reached for her mother's hand, snagging a crumb of sandwich from the basket. Fanny laughed, watching the child's small fingers close around the bread. "Look at her, H.J." Her eyes softened, then lifted to his face. "It is time we thought of enlarging our family. Sarah will soon need a brother to share her days, but will that keep you at home more, or are you already married to the railroad?" H.J.'s smile faded into earnestness. He pulled the child higher in his arms, shielding her from the wind. "You know there is urgency in what I do, Fanny. A man must make his fortune while he is still young and strong, but I shall try to be more at home. After all this striving is for you and for her." He glanced at Sarah's soft face nestled against his coat. His voice dropped, wearied. "Do not think working for the Rock Island is a picnic. It tests me daily." Fanny only sighed, shaking her head with a mixture of love and worry. At her skirt, Sarah tottered with another morsel of bread, which fell to the grass the instant Lucky snatched it eagerly. They laughed softly, even in their careworn conversation, and for a moment family outweighed ambition. That evening, the parlor glowed with the warm light of fire. H.J. sat in an overstuffed chair, Sarah perched upon his lap, Lucky curled faithfully at his feet. The child wriggled with impatience, little toes throttling in her pinafore. "This little piggy," H.J. began solemnly, taking her big toe as though it were a matter of state, "had roast beef." Sarah's eyes widened, her lips parting in delight, though she gave no sound yet. He wiggled the next toe, then another. Finally his fingers skated across her foot's sole. This time Sarah burst into laughter, a round and musical giggle that filled the room as surely as bells. H.J. lifted her high into the air and kissed her forehead, overcome with joy that even his wealth and business conquests could not equal. The next morning from the dining room, the sound of china settling reached them. Fanny's voice echoed into the parlor, warm and insistent. "Breakfast is waiting." The formal dining room gleamed as she sat at her place, the table set with glowing candlelight and porcelain trimmed in gold. Sarah's little high chair was placed beside her. H.J. entered carrying the child, Lucky trotting at his heels. Setting Sarah carefully into the chair, he watched proudly as Fanny spooned soft breakfast onto the tray. Sarah's hand, quick and greedy, snatched a biscuit, stuffing it toward her mouth. Father and mother laughed as crumbs spilled everywhere. But H.J.'s mind wandered still. He took the head of the table, the clock striking 6, even as he gulped coffee in hurried drafts. Quickly finishing, he stood. "I have a meeting this afternoon with the railroad executives. God willing, we shall finalize plans for the new towns." Fanny reminded H.J. that Jim and Becky are leaving today for her sisters. "You promised to help me manage the house this weekend." "And will you spend the night in town?" Fanny asked carefully. "No," he shook his head, softening his voice. "I shall return for a late dinner." Leaning down, he kissed her, then pressed his lips to Sarah's head. She reached sticky fingers toward his coat. Lucky barked softly as H.J. bent to present him a scrap before taking his hat. "Stay with them, old fellow," he murmured, patting the mutt with his familiar affection. Outside, the cold morning air wrapped the yard in silence. Jim, the hired hand, led round the stallion with saddle already fit. "Joe tending the livestock while you're away?" H.J. asked. "Yes, sir. He'll come by twice a day. You won't have to trouble yourself." H.J. swung into the saddle. "Good man. I cannot imagine Fanny trying to wrangle them horses." Both men chuckled. "No, sir. She's queen of the house, not the barn." H.J. nodded, solemn gratitude in his voice. "Thank you, Jim, for all of it. I'll be back late tonight. Glad John will keep all in good order." The horse shifted beneath him, eager for the road. On the porch, Lucky watched, ears high, eyes bright and sorrowful. With one last glance back at the house, glowing with its many windows, Hobart Johnstone Whitley pressed his heels, and the stallion carried him into the snowy twilight.